Page 211, Etude. Etude, remember, is a study piece of some sort, and this looks like it's broken chords going down. Arpeggios going down. Okay, I'll just go through the system I use for learning a piece of music, and I'll see what I end up with. I look it over, it's a page long, and that's just an approximate. I just need an idea of what I'm getting into. It's about a page long. Treble and bass clef signs. 6/8 time signature, which explains all the eighth notes because now an eighth note gets a count. Okay. And there's 6 of them, or the same as 6 of them in every measure. There's no sharps or flats in the key signature. I missed it because it's empty. I usually do the key signature after the clef, but because it goes in between the clef and the time signature. Well, no sharps or flats is A minor. I know that, all right. Okay, so I can do the A minor scale and the C major scale, probably 2 octaves up and down, and it wouldn't hurt to be doing the arpeggios 2 octaves up and down. But do it as I suggest in the videos, and do everything I suggest in the videos for the beginner and intermediate part. Don't go to the advanced yet. You don't need to spend a lot of time on scales and arpeggios, just a little bit each day, at least one key signature, that's fine. Now the hands are playing one at a time for the most part, so I'm going to take it both hands together. Otherwise I do one hand at a time first. So the right hand here, here, left hand. And we're going to be moving around a little bit, so you're kind of crawling around here. I want to connect everything with the fingers if I can. 1, 2, 3. That's basically all it is. Now, one thing I kind of do sometimes to help me out is I notice these are broken chords. Sometimes I'll just play them as block chords to get an idea of what's going on, my feel of the chord. So it's here, here. It's like a 4 chord. And then down here, it come down, just one key. And then here. And then I do it again. And that's fun. So I'm kind of getting an idea of the harmony and how the hands are moving around. Then when I do the I get my right hand in position as I'm playing the left. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going. The idea is I'm trying to move around as I need to without looking at the keyboard. I like to feel my way around the keyboard. Now when you get to the end of the second line, you gotta come up here. You might have to look there because you're coming up 2 instead of 1. And you're coming up while you're playing the left hand. Hopefully you don't have to look at the keyboard too much on this one. Last measure, you just have that A minor chord. You're not using all the notes. We're not using the E. You don't have to use all the notes. This is fine. It gets the message across. So once I have an idea of the rhythm and the fingers and all that, the notes, then I go through and make sure no hesitations. I can go slow, it doesn't matter, but no hesitations anywhere. And once I can do that, I'll think about the articulation, because when I first learned it, as I said, I connect everything because I want a fingering that works that way. Now I can figure out what's going on with the phrasing, or it's slurred, so it's all connected. It's very legato. But are these curved lines phrases or slurs? If they're phrases, I'm going to lift up between each one. If they're slurs, I'm going to connect the whole thing. So it's here. To tell, because I don't like choppy feelings like that, and each measure generally makes it choppy. Maybe I just treat the whole first 2 lines as one phrase. The whole thing, and then at the end of the second line, lift up before I go back. So lift up, there'd be a new phrase there. There's different ways of interpreting this. You have to decide how you want to feel it. Of course, when you have the pedal, if each measure is a phrase, you're going to lose that with the pedal, maybe. So you decide. But even if you can't hear it because of the pedal, you would still feel it. You would still do the technique for it. I think I'm going to go ahead and treat the first two lines as one phrase, and then the last two lines as a phrase. So I'm going to lift up at the end of the second line, otherwise I'm going to connect it all. That's just the way I'm doing it. You don't have to do it that way. But once we have the articulation out of the way, then I think about the dynamics. P is piano for soft, and it's the only one you get. Isn't that fun? No. You don't have to do the whole thing at exactly soft. You're in the soft area. If you feel it getting a little louder, because this, you're doing this. If maybe you get a little softer, I don't know. Experiment and see. If you have trouble hearing it, exaggerate. Soft. Loud. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do 2 measures of soft and then a couple measures a little louder. Yeah, I'd try it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I get louder as I'm going down. It starts. Yeah, go the other way. Start a little louder and get softer as you go down. You just have to remember, though, that you want to stay in that soft area, so don't get loud. You're just in that area. You can shape these things as you feel them. Experiment with it. The more you experiment with it means the more you're actually practicing it and playing it. You do that with the scales a lot. Just experiment with the dynamics and articulation things with the scales. And because you're doing the scales all the time you're doing that, it's a win-win situation, in my opinion. Then the speed. Well, it's kind of tricky. It's moderato, but what is moderato? Is it the speed of the beat, the eighth notes? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, in 6/8 time, a lot of times it's the speed of the natural accent. You can feel it in 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if that's moderato, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, sounds fast. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe it's sort of a combination. The eighth notes want to slow it down, and the natural accents want to speed it up, so it feels in the middle. It sort of feels in the middle. I just got to watch it so the eighth notes don't get too fast. It's interpretation. How do you feel it? Your moderato will be different from somebody else's. And with me, it depends on how much coffee or wine or whatever I've had okay? Yeah. Now, once the blood pressure medicine kicks in, everything goes down a little. Now, they've added pedal, and they're legato pedaling the whole thing. You see the simile at the end of the first line? It's down near the pedal line. Remember, simile can apply to anything. And it just means keep doing what you've been doing in the way you've been doing it. Okay, down near the pedal line, it's referring to the pedal. And what we see here is it looks like it's overlapping pedal, legato pedal. And they're changing it on each measure, which is fine because that's where the harmony changes. You're changing chords. And you would change the pedal with that because you don't want to mix chords together. So, is that what we want to do? Well, that's what we'll do for starts. We have to listen carefully to what it's doing. Is that what we want or not? But that's a good starting point. So at the beginning, I'll push the first tone down and then the pedal. I change the pedal after I play the note. And that's the way all the way through. That's okay. If you want each measure to be a phrase and you want to hear the phrasing, then you got to lift the pedal up with the hands at the end of the measure. You're going to lift up with the hands, you lift the pedal up too, so there's a little silence. It's another effect. I don't care for it, but you might like it. Okay. If I'm going to do the first two lines as one phrase, and the second 2 lines is the second phrase. Then I'll lift the pedal up at the end of the second line so I hear that. So the last 2 measures of the second line is here. So just a speck of silence there at the end of the second, like taking a quick breath. It's interpretation. What do you like? If you would rather just connect it all, then you overlap pedal the whole thing. I think I'm going to lift up at the end of the second line. I like the phrase. I like to hear the phrases if I can. The last measure at the end here, everything comes up on beat 4 together, the hands, and don't get in the habit of letting the pedal hold it for you. Yeah, that's good enough. It's done. The pedal will do the job. In my opinion, that is poor technique. If there's noise coming out of the machine, you keep your hands on it. Keep the keys down. Everything comes up together. Together. I felt a decrescendo at the end, the last line as we're coming down. I felt a decrescendo in there. I put it in, or diminuendo, whatever you want to call it. Feeling the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just make sure the 8th notes are even. Don't go. No, please don't do that. Ooh. All even, so they all flow together. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. There aren't any to give. I'm not going to do the pedal because you hear the notes better without the pedal. All we're doing is checking notes and rhythms. The rhythms aren't a problem. They're all 8th notes. But the notes, you should play the same note I'm playing. I'll give us 6 counts. And the metronome, of course, is beating 8th notes because that's what we're playing, I guess. So. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. Rest, rest.